It's very human to seek solace in familiar spaces and things. It gives us a sense of security. But growth rarely happens in our comfort zones, and when we stay there for too long, it breeds stagnation and complacency. It's in the unfamiliar, the challenge, and in moments where the ground beneath us feels unsteady and the air is thick with uncertainty. That's where we're introduced to our true selves. We're exposed to parts of ourselves that may have gone unnoticed. And this is a moment where you decide, am I going to lean into this raw, uncomfortable moment? Am I going to acknowledge that I don't have all the answers? Am I going to allow my tightly held beliefs, my tightly held opinions and observations about the world be shredded and tested? Am I going to be reborn, or am I going to run and hide and blame other people? I honestly think vulnerability is what we're afraid of. There's a stripping down that happens when we're uncomfortable, when we're being called out of our safe bubbles and cocoons. It's like having a mirror that reflects all your deepest fears, desires, limitations, dreams, and capabilities held up to you. And that's scary for anybody. It takes courage to face yourself, to challenge the foundations of your perceived reality, knowing that there's a possibility that everything could be lost in the blink of an eye. It takes courage to be lost. Discomfort is like rain. It may not always be pleasant. It can make things really murky, and it can be fucking yucky if you're like me and you're not a fan of the rain. But it's so necessary for growth and development and for the overall well-being of the ecosystem. I think there's so much beauty in the unknown. It's taken me a while to learn this, but there's so much power in going, I don't know, you know, I'm not quite sure where this is going or what that is, or, you know, where that is headed. And learning to be okay with that. In grappling with the unknown, we cultivate compassion. We learn to listen. We learn to honor difference, to let go of unwarranted expectations and projections. We are reminded of our shared humanity. Our minds are stimulated to explore new possibilities. It is in those like fucking awkward and just difficult conversations where emotions swirl and we're not very fluent, we're not very collected. It's in the dissonance, the awkward pauses and uneasy and heavy silences. That's where we connect on a human level. We begin to transcend the superficial layers of our very well-crafted public personas to reveal our authentic selves. That's why it's easier to get closer to someone after one of you exposes your private self in a public setting. I've always been of the opinion that unless it's an objectively moral or criminal offense, my discomfort is for me to dissect and explore, not for me to require another human to dissipate. Because frankly, while it's never my intention to make people uncomfortable, I never leave my house thinking, this is the day I make people comfortable. It doesn't occur to me. So I don't expect that of my fellow human beings. My goal is to exist as truthfully as I can. And while that may bring up something for someone else, it's up to them to choose how they want to interact with it, how they want to interact with me. We need to run less and embrace more. Just like everything else, being okay with being uncomfortable is a skill. The more you lean into it, the more you expand. You teach your body and your mind to act despite the presence of fear, despite the presence of those feelings that just make you want to curl up in a ball and hide. You teach your body and mind to notice those things and still stay in the game. You keep your mind open to growth. You stay malleable. Life is inherently unpredictable. And when we don't run and hide from the waves, we build mental toughness, we build emotional intelligence, emotional fortitude. Some of the most groundbreaking ideas have come from someone allowing themselves to free fall into the unknown. There's so much beauty inherent in discomfort. Don't avoid it. Don't run from it. Do it afraid. There's no other way to do it. Do it afraid. If we want to soar, we must be willing to fall. It's as simple as that. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. My name is Pearl, and I'll see you in the next video.